recently I went to a crafternoon tea. I say recently, this was at Mother's Day. We did some lovely painting, had some cakes, had some tea. I had a coffee, I think. Um, and we had a lovely time. We all did certain pottery things where you painted on pottery, and everyone's turned out lovely. Besides mine, because mine chipped. Dun dun dun. I decided to paint a little controller thing, like a pot. It has a second half, and you like put it on. Um, and cause I customized controllers, and I thought, oh, that's really clever, because then I could put all my screws and stuff from the controllers inside while I'm working on one. But it did not turn out well after they dipped it and glazed it. Apparently, it chipped away. So what we're gonna do today is the at-home kit that they gave me to do it again. In the kit we get pottery, 5 paints, 4 paintbrushes of varying quality and size. And if you're like me, you will also need a plant pot of water. So let's jump in. We'll give this a paint. I'll talk about light, and let's have a look at what we can make. What will we do? Let's do... The colour is actually quite hard to get. So that red is that red. So after glazing, the colour completely changes. Something to note in case anyone's doing something like this for themselves. Your colours will be completely different. So I would recommend doing a batch test if you can. If you're doing this at home and you have like the glaze yourself and you're doing all that stuff, make a sheet with just every paint you have, glaze it all, and you'll see what colour it actually is. So our main colours, we're going to need blue and red. So I do still want to try and make it so it's kind of like the channel logo. Oh god, they filled some of these hugely. Whoa. Oh, generous. Look at that. It's like the brim. But yeah, you can see it's like a little bit different than what you'd expect for paint. Kind of watery, but it absorbs really nicely into the actual pot. It's actually really nice. Like, but you can see there, that was quite a lot of paint I just put on and it absorbed straight in. Like, there's nothing really left here on top anymore. So you have to keep going back and for more and more of the paint because it absorbs very fast. I know this isn't probably like what you expect from my kind of channel at the moment. At the moment it's revolving quite a lot around games. But this is kind of what I want to do occasionally. Just to do something random, creative, something fun, something different. Really broaden the horizons of what I can do and what people might watch. Although you may be asking, James, where have you been for like a fucking month? uh, I've talked about it before in the past. I struggle with depression and stuff. It hits hard sometimes. And recently, family stuff, had a lot of stuff's been going on. Cancer diagnoses with people. Uh, my grandmother's on like end of life care and stuff. And then I've been switching medicine. I had to have ECG, which is heart monitoring and things, to see if I could get a different medication. It's been a whole ordeal, and I struggle with chronic pain because of my ankles. I have it's called caravarus foot deformity. Getting back on the horse. So we've got a few things on the channel that we want to. Oh god, it's difficult to get under there. We've got a few things on the channel I want to finish up. So we're still cracking on with DMC. I'm going to actually record quite a bit of that this weekend. Yeah, I want to finish off Alone in the Dark. I'm not hugely into it right now, which is a weird one. Because, well, to be fair, I never really play them type of games. It's been fun. It's just I've lost kind of a bit of interest in it. And obviously I don't want to leave it half finished and stuff like that. So I do want to go back and finish that. So I think it's only a 5-chapter game, and I expect the 5th chapter is fairly short. So we can probably finish that in like a part more or 2 parts more. Maybe I should do a long one. Actually, I would like to know, do people like long videos or short videos? I do try and aim for no longer than 45 minutes. Or something like that. Because I feel like that's where you kind of can lose some interest, you know? And I don't have the biggest viewership right now. Hello, viewer. How are you? um, but I'd like to know, do people like longer videos or short videos? Yeah, it needs cleaning up like crazy. But I mean, opaqueness, I'm not seeing much blotchiness besides the bits where like at the edges. I do hope the blue paints over the bits where I went too far. It's tricky to do craft sometimes because I feel like you have to have a lot to talk about. And especially with this, there's not much to talk about besides like the quality of the stuff. And I am actually enjoying the quality of this stuff. It's quite nice to paint. It feels weird. Like it dries very fast. I will say that because it's getting absorbed into the structure of the thing. All right, okay. Different color time. So we get our plant pot of water, and we'll give it a bit of a clean. I want it to be like matte. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it matte. Um, I want it to be like one shade. You know, I want it to be really nice and like smooth. It's why I like digital art so much. But if I leave brush strokes in this, they will show through. Like you can see on the other version. Look how patchy it is. That's just how it is going to look. So I'm gonna try my best here and try and get it as like opaque as possible without any differences in tone. I'm not going to be the one glazing it. I'm going to take it back to the shop and they're going to glaze it for me. There's probably some places around everywhere that do the stuff like this. Crafting is quite a big thing at the moment, especially in the uh not rude or anything. I'm not trying to be rude, but in the older women's category of there's a lot of crafting that's marketed to them at the moment. It's why I get to go and do stuff. I have my sister and my mom, and they like to do stuff, and I'll go with them occasionally. Um, and I'm a big crafter. They have a lot of selections. They had loads of stuff. They had like skulls that were like skull planters, like the size of that plant pot I had for the water. A skull of that you could put a plant in. Little boxes that they demonstrate painted as like Pokemon. So you'd put a succulent in the back and it'd look like Bulbasaur with the bulb. The plant would be the bulb. I chose the only controller, obviously. I've done a lot of controllers in my time, like actual controller customization, so it kind of made the most sense for me to do this. But there was stuff like rabbits, I think, houses, various different stuff of plants. I remember that. Lots of cute things. Sometimes you just have to throw yourself into a craft as well. Like, not worry too much about how messy it's going to be or how perfectly neat you've got to be. Like, I should be being a lot more neat with this. I should be like way more neat, especially around the buttons and stuff, because that's going to just be cleanup work. But at the same time, I quite I think it might be fine if I just cover it up, because I think grey is going to cover blue. A lot of it's quite common sense stuff. You can kind of get away with it if you just plan a little bit ahead. So doing your colours in the right order will definitely help on this stuff. The perk of doing this at home is I can take as long as I want on doing this. On the day when we did it on Mother's Day, there was only like about 3 hours I think we got to do it in the shop. I had like a lot of time, but when you're doing stuff and talking and eating cakes and doing helping your mom or your sister or talking to the people who run the place, yeah, the time can get away with you. Get away from you, especially with something like this where I'm going over the same area over and over again, like you're watching me do it. It can be quite easy to get lost in the time, and that happened with my sister and hers. She did the gong one, which is quite big, and by the last like she went overboard by over time by like I'd say about half an hour to an hour, and the women who were running the day, they they were completely fine. They were understanding with it, like, yeah, happens a lot, and stuff. That she ended up having to rush the end of hers because obviously it was one day event and things like this. and things like that, where I could feasibly work on this over a few days, but I don't think I'd want to. Not with something like this, just because I want this one done, and I've kind of left it like 2 months, and I feel like there's part of me that feels like they're going to be a little bit annoyed. Like, this guy, man, comes in one time, and I've seen him like for, for 3 months later still doing the same pop because it messed up. I do feel a bit bad. I'd like to do some of my controller customization videos. I've done some in the past, and they weren't the ones I've done in the past. I wasn't really super pleased with how they turned out, because I always end up doing them ones. I think I used old footage. Like, I had the idea of making them into videos ages ago, so I recorded ages ago, but I recorded them before I learned how to like really do videos that much. Back when I streamed a lot, I recorded a lot of that stuff. Also, with streaming, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go back to streaming anytime soon. I used to stream every other day, I think it was at a certain point. And since then, I just lost the interest. I didn't feel really that invited into the streaming community anymore, like the community I found myself in with like friends and stuff like that. It just felt like things grew kind of distant and kind of repetitive. And also, like, I don't like the whole mentality of streaming, like where everyone kind of acts the same. I want to be different. Why would I want to be like everyone else? It's so boring. And everyone kind of was just acting the same, like, oh, you didn't need to do that. 3 subs. Oh my god, you guys are insane. I don't know, you never needed to. I hate that. Like, be honest, you're doing it for money. That's the reason most people stream. For like money, subs, build a community. That's the whole point. But it just it sometimes it's quite transparent with streaming. You can kind of see people who are clearly just in it for money or fame, or it kind of feels like a bit usury to me sometimes. Whereas I can make a nice video, and just put it on YouTube. And yeah, I might not make money on it, but I enjoy making the video. That's the difference. Whereas there's also an always on mentality with streaming. Like, you can't, if I don't want to record a video like one of my games, I just won't. One of the games that we're currently playing on the channel, I probably just wouldn't if I'm not vibing it. Whereas if it's a stream and you've scheduled it, you have to do it, or else you're letting people down, and your community kind of like fails because of that if you don't. And it definitely didn't work with mental health stuff that I've got to deal with. You make yourself feel worse if you're probably streaming and then you have to cancel. You'll beat yourself up that much more. It's a tricky thing to figure out, but I do think YouTube is probably a better place in terms of making content, just because, and also discoverability on Twitch is outrageous, like really bad. It looks pretty good, guys. A little bit patchy there. That's not too bad. But let's put it this way: I streamed what I've streamed. I'd say my journey in streaming was 3 years. I'd say. And I got like fair amount of followers and stuff, 400 followers I think I got to in the end. But the last year, my my growth completely slowed down, like completely got to a grinding halt. And took me like about 4 months to get up about 3 followers or something like that. It was quite off-putting. It was like, am I doing something wrong? Whereas on YouTube, say I what 3 months now I've been uploading quite consistently. The last month, I am sorry, to be fair. I think I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, but 3 months consistently, and I grew about 10 subscribers, I'd say, something like that, which is really good because I'm only uploading some games and stuff. Now I'm just enjoying myself, and if people are enjoying the ride, it's great. I felt way better about that growth than I did about the 3 followers on Twitch. After all that time. Okay, let's do some gray. I'm changing brushes. I do like that they gave like several different size brushes, it does make it a lot easier to do this and be a bit more precise. Whereas if I was just using the big brush, it would be annoying. Content creation in general is quite tricky to do. Um, there's a lot you have to learn yourself as well, and I love learning. I really love learning. I've always loved learning things. I don't like being told what to do though, and that was one of the things that Twitch kind of insists to grow. You have to be super consistent, and that just doesn't work for me. I don't do good with authority. I don't expect to be doing like all crafts all the time or anything like that. So don't get that into your head. But I do expect to be doing a few more fun little things like this on the side, just to mix it up. Really, just catch up sessions essentially. See what's going on in life, see what I'm looking forward to, see what I've enjoyed, because like I really enjoyed DMC1, Devil May Cry, our little marathon we're doing. I've really enjoyed Devil May Cry 1. Devil May Cry 2, a lot of people are quite bad at like quite say a lot of people say that game's really bad, but so far I'm enjoying it. I just have had some trouble, so I've not been able to progress right at the moment. But I'm excited to get back into that one. I also really want to play some Star Wars games soon. I've been doing a journey of watching all the Star Wars media I've missed over the years. Like um Obi-Wan Kenobi that came out and I missed that. I watched all of the Clone Wars. I've been working my way through all of it really, and uh I've came to a grinding halt though. And the halt is Star Wars Rebels. It's trash. It's literally trash. It's horrible. I do not want to watch it. But there's only a few seasons, so I might just plow through it. I just don't like it. The art style changed so much. I really like the Clone Wars art style, but then they changed it. Like, why would they change something like that? It's so weird. And I think it is just because they were trying to appeal to kids. I think that was like the reason it changed. But the the Clone Wars art style was so much better. Even for kids, I would say it looked cooler. I am just a giant kid most of the time. And I would much rather look at the Clone Wars than I would look at Rebels. The Rebels looks literally like shit. It looks like a project somebody's made at a college to say I can do animation. Probably still good. I'm probably being a bit hard on it, but I don't think I'm being that hard on it, honestly. I don't think it's a rare opinion. I think quite a lot of people have trouble with Rebels. Obviously, to anyone who doesn't watch Star Wars, none of you are going to understand this, but there's a lot of cool Star Wars games that I am wanting to play. Um, I've played through like more Star Wars games. Um, I want to replay Force Unleashed and Force Unleashed 2, so I can play them on the computer and activate some visual mods and stuff that might be fun to explore. I want to play through Fallen Order again because I haven't played Survivor yet. I haven't played Jedi Survivor. I have it, I just haven't played it yet. I really loved Fallen Order, like really loved Fallen Order, like a lot. I thought it was almost a perfect game. And then Outlaws is coming out later in the year, so I'm excited to get that as well. But I'm a little bit concerned about the controversy going around on it at the moment, like missions that are locked behind owning a certain edition of the game. That's not cool. It doesn't really affect me that much because me and Bertie go like halves on games and just buy them digitally, and then we can get the bigger edition, and just say pretty much it's like buying the standard edition because we're halving the price. but still not cool to lock that kind of content behind stuff. Even if it is just one mission and stuff, it's kind of backwards. We'll do the button in the middle in orange as well. Actually, weirdly, my original logo, the channel logo, the the center is grey, but I had experimented with some orange in the middle to make it like pop a bit more, but I decided grey probably made it pop the most. Memories. Yeah, okay. It's coming together. We'll leave it to dry for a little bit, and I'll come back and I will. I'll do some cleanup, and I'll come back and we'll paint the back. Actually, I don't even think we need to do that on camera. I'll do some cleanup and I'll paint the back all black, and we'll do. No. Okay, we'll leave it to dry for a little bit. And I'll do some cleanup work, and then we'll come back in and add some details in black, and then we can call it done, and we'll see the finished result. What do we? Yeah, we did some cleanup. I think it looks pretty good, guys. Very clean, very nice. Um, I have a feeling that it looks a little boring though, so I'm thinking about putting some red dots onto that side and some blue dots onto that side, just to kind of like mix and match it about a bit. Not even a lot, just like a little bit of a splash, as it were, like it's just been painted and rushed kind of thing. So like one might take a little bit to build up though, like a smaller dot there, or something like that, something cute, you know. And then do the same over here, but with blue. But just like in a slightly different place. Like there's one. There's one. And let's put one there as well. We'll do one more red on the other side just to balance it out. So it's 3 on each. But besides that, I think we're done with design wise. I know it's nothing particularly crazy, but yeah, I think that looks good. Now tricky bit. We're gonna do some black. Dun, dun, dun. We're gonna do some black, which is actually kind of scary. Okay, black. Scary times. So I want a straight black line down the middle. Um, like straight down, so it divides it. I want to do these two start and select buttons in black, and then I want to cover all the back in black. So nothing major. Right now it looks like dark grey, but after it's glazed, it will look black. I think. Commit. Oh my god, that's so much black. Oh my god, what have I done? Oh no 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 no. Okay, we'll just quickly fix that. Quite forgiving. It did take off some of the layers that I just did, so I'll be back after I fix that. Not the right brush at all. Not the right brush at all. Okay, okay. Attempt two. Attempt two. Let's go. There's always one repercussion I have when I do stuff like this. Like, there's always one bad thing I do. Got too much paint on. Scary. Like when I did the controller and I spray painted it and all of it cracked. That's on one of the videos that I've put up. I think it was the Spyro controller. Yeah, okay, okay, okay. Let's get him. It's like finishing touches are the scariest bit with any craft, I think. Cool. And then I'll need to go over the lines again. And I'm going to paint the back black and it's done. I'm going to be happy with that. Nice. I like it. I think it looks pretty cool. What do you think? So we'll come back. I'll paint the back and do a little bit of tidying up there. But I'll paint the back, we'll get it glazed, and then we'll see what it looks like in the end. Let's go.